My name is Dusty Johnstone, and I teach in the Department of Women's and Gender Studies, although I was trained as an applied social psychologist, so that really influences my approach to research. My research has largely been conducted using methods centered around interactive dialogue, namely interviews and focus groups. Specifically, I tend to study sexual violence against women, as well as sexual assault prevention education. So, as an example of my work, I've looked at the ways that women really struggle to label and name experiences of sexual violence. I'm most interested in women's stories, specifically in how they tell their stories of coercion and assault, so I tend to use narrative methodologies. My work is also influenced by feminist approaches to research and really emphasizes the relational nature of conducting qualitative research, that the participants and I collaboratively co-construct knowledge together. There are a couple of things about qualitative research that are really important to me and that influence how I've approached the module. One is the emphasis on meaning making. In my discipline, we are trained really to describe and to predict. I'm interested, though, in the process by which all of that happens and really in the meaning that we take away from it. So I'm not just interested in, understanding that something happened, but why is it significant? Why does it matter? Qualitative research is really well suited to helping us ask that kind of question. I also appreciate that it's very voice-centered and that it really can put participants at the center of the research and bring them alive. There's a real humanizing aspect to qualitative research that helps us really hone in on what they're saying. The third part is a more practical one, and that's the value that qualitative research can have for evaluation. So one of the things that I said that I do is look at sexual assault prevention education, so programming that helps prevent sexual assault and violence from happening. We need to evaluate the effectiveness of programs if we're going to actually improve them and make sure that they are successful. And qualitative research really can help us do that in a way that brings richness beyond what other methods can contribute. So the unifying objectives of these modules are to help students identify the distinguishing characteristics of qualitative research, to understand the methodological pathway that determines how we will conceptually frame our research, and the practical tools that we will use to collect data and interpret it. Also, to think about the application of this methodological pathway in relation to your own research question or topic. So we have 4 modules that we'll be covering, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how they are organized. In Module 1, we examine the philosophical underpinnings and frameworks that shape our approach to qualitative research. We look at research questions, research design, and implementation. In Module 2, we examine a variety of methods and techniques that can be used to collect data. We discuss how the frameworks brought up in Module 1 will influence the methods that we use. In Module 3, we examine techniques and software tools commonly used for the interpretation, transcription, coding, and analysis of data. And finally, in Module 4, we examine the many ways the qualitative data can be effectively communicated and disseminated in a scholarly, community-based, or policy context. There are a series of 4 modules, each of which have been divided into units and then subdivided into chapters. The modules are designed to be flexible. Students can use them as a self-guided resource, or they can also be used to supplement graduate research methods curriculum. We have tried to draw upon open access readings and resources where possible, although we do recommend readings from other texts that we consider to be absolutely foundational or very useful to you. Each module includes activities that will help you engage with the topics so that they become more concrete and less abstract. We also recommend evaluations that you may want to consider using to assess your learning.